TIFU by not being able to notice subtle hints.
I was reminded of this by a recent post on here and commented on there, but I'm sure that will be buried. This was not today, this was almost 25 years ago. When I was 18 I went to a water park with friends. There was one part where you jump on this trampoline while also strapped into some bungee cord-like thing from above. Me and a couple of my friends decided to try it out. My two friends went first and there was a girl that I would have said was 18 or 19 working there. She handed the harness thing to my friends as they went up, they strapped in and did their thing. I went up and went to grab the harness and she just told me she would help me with it. Not sure why the process required her to rub my upper inner thighs so much while putting it on and taking off, but somehow it did.
After she made small talk and said something along the lines of asking me to come meet her when the park closed. I told her my friend drove and she said she could give me a ride and she only lived a little bit away from the park. I said something non-committal and went off with my friends. I asked my friend that drove if we could hang out a little longer than we were planning until close, but he said he couldn't stay that late because he had to be up early. I didn't want to be without my ride, so I shrugged it off and left with them a bit later. Later that night they were asking me about the cute trampoline girl because it looked like we were flirting pretty hard to them. I told them the entire story and their jaws dropped and they just looked at me like I was the biggest idiot in the world. They wanted to know why the hell I was riding home with them instead of having sex with a really cute water park worker.
I told them that I doubted she was interested in me like that, and they spent the rest of the car ride home. We lived about an hour away, explaining that apparently girls don't find excuses to feel up guys they aren't interested in. Shockingly, I remained a virgin for a bit longer after that night. It took a girl that had been flirting with me at multiple college parties getting tired of waiting for me to pick up hints to end that streak. Near the middle of one party that we ended up at together for like the third weekend in a row, she just grabbed my hand and pulled me out the door saying, "Come on." I asked her where we were going and she told me to buy condoms and then back to my place to fuck. That is about the level of subtlety that I am able to pick up. TLDR, thought cute girl rubbing my thighs in public was just being helpful, remained virgin.
To buy condoms and then back to my place to fuck. Enthusiastic consent. Well done. Well, it took 28 years for me to notice a girl was interested in me, and it only happened because she put her hand inside my pants and grabbed my penis. I'm still married with her.
No, you did what makes sense. Sure, this could have been sex, but it also could have been you being stranded at the park because your friends left hours ago and you were unable to find trampoline girl at the end of the day. Imagine that it's maybe due to the fact that I'm reading this as a female. But I find her behavior creepy. If the gender roles were reversed, this would end you on our, let's not meet or something. Don't worry op. When I started dating my now wife, I said to her, I don't pick up on subtle hints or subtext. Because I am a dumb man. I say what I mean and I expect the same. Sometime later she got mad at me for a reason I couldn't fathom and she stopped complaining and said, "Oh, you really meant it. You don't understand what I was hinting at." Nope. Am I still in trouble? No. Been happily married for 4 years now and she still has to spell everything out for me.
I'd laugh. But I have been equally as oblivious multiple times. I'm hardly even exaggerating there either.
Until a girl comes and asks me to be her BF. Boy, I am gonna remain single. 'Cause I can't pick up hints. The girl I'm seeing right now. For the first few dates she kept saying she didn't want anything serious. Just was looking for a friend. And she'd talk about how stressed she was and how great sex was for relieving stress. Clue not received or processed. Our fourth date she didn't show. I forget her excuse but I texted, "Okay, maybe next time." No reply. It was a Tuesday and I usually do trivia on Tuesdays, so I ended up going to the normal spot for trivia with friends. After trivia, about 11:30 p.m., I am chatting with some friends. one of the bartenders on break, and the guy that runs trivia. I'm a regular there, so we all talk a lot. In the middle of it, I get a text from her. I don't want to date, but if the sex is good. Motherfucking light bulb lit up like the New Year's ball in NY. Well, we're still fucking, so I guess the sex is good, but it's also turned into more than just FWB. Despite her resistance at first. Why can't Paole just go, "Me want bang now"? Would make this whole human relations thing easier. My wife is this level of oblivious. We just hit 20 years. She still doesn't get it when she's being hit on. Which, while I don't worry about her in general, is still a nice added assurance that she'll be faithful. Tears of joy. So, we're all assuming op is packin', right? Right? 'Cause lemme tell you, ain't nobody ever come up to me, fondle my tic tacs and then still offer me a ride. My husband and I worked together at a restaurant. I hit on him a lot. After about 4 months of working together, he came in for lunch with a friend. I continued to flirt. He said when they were leaving he told his friend, "I think that girl might go out with me," and his friend goes, "You think?" It still took him like another month to ask me out. Married 22 years this month. TIFU and 2X chromosomes are both pretty high in my feed. I had already forgotten the title as I was reading your post when I got to the part about your inner thighs. I thought I was on Twux and this was going to be a post about an assault. Funny how knowing what sub you are on completely changes your expectations. Anyway, I wouldn't get too worked up about a potentially missed opportunity. You very well could have told your friends to take off without you and then found out she had found someone else or mood had changed. Getting another ride home an hour away would not have been an easy task. Bless your heart. I am also you. My GF jokes about the fact that we went on 5 dates before I knew I was on a date. Yeah, I can think of a few times I was oblivious at that age as well. Pretty sure girls needed those glowy paddles that aircraft landing officers used to get my attention back then. I've been forwarding these TIFUs to my wife as evidence that I am not the only dumbass who couldn't figure out the hot chick was into him. Ahaha. This just resurfaced a suppressed memory. When I was about 18 I moved from my parents' house and into the wide world. I always grew up in the country, and here in NZ most country people own firearms and are around them often. As a 18-year-old fresh into uni, I was flatting with some other people. Now we all owned guns and chatting about them was just normal. As any uni student can tell you, parties were a weekly occurrence. As we lived out of the city, most of them ended up at our house because nobody cared about a bunch of student getting shit-faced drunk and being loud when nobody can hear you. One night a bunch of randoms turned up and guns became the topic as per usual. There was this really cute girl who I'd only seen walking around and she was super interested in hearing about the new gun I was given that day. She kept saying, "Let's go upstairs and you can show me." And I kept on saying, "I'll just bring it downstairs so everyone can take a look," and she would just sigh and move on for a bit. As the night went on, we kept taking and sitting close. Yes, I'm an idiot. And she kept on asking to go see the new gun. I still remember thinking to myself, wondering why the fuck she was so pressed on seeing it rather than bringing it down. I eventually caved and we went to my bedroom. Gun was kept in a safe in my wardrobe. I began the process of unlocking and talking away. It was about this moment when I turned around, rifle in hand, to see her with no top on sitting on my bed. I finally clicked. God, I'm dumb. I think most men have stories like this. I was never good at catching hints, so I tell my wife not to do it. It will only lead to frustration of both people. This one time when I was 20 and still a virgin. I was hanging out with a friend, watching a movie at her place. The topic of boobs came up. I don't remember how it started, but it came to her saying I could play with hers if I wanted. After asking if she was serious like 5 times before I got to it, started out over the shirt 'cause also unable to take hints. After like 2 minutes, she said I could go under the shirt. So I did. We did that for a while and she was super into it. And so was I. Then when the movie ended, I drove home and furiously masturbated. Not even considering that maybe she wanted to bang. We ended up doing the deed about 2 weeks later. Until that point, I was 100% certain no one would ever be interested in me that way.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.